Welcome back to We Like That podcast.
Because we like that. I'm Javon.
And I'm Calvin. Welcome back.
Welcome back. Let's go ahead and jump right into, unless something happened to you this week. Anything happen?
Life. Sugar, how you get so fly. No,
Okay.
nothing happened.
All right, well, into That Happened.
That happened with Boop's got to be that. Sugar, how you get so fly with Joe.
The only thing I really have going on with That Happened is Stephen A. Smith's war on Will Smith. I was very confused. It's actually not new. So in case you hadn't heard, Stephen A. Smith decided to do like this standalone hot take of why Will Smith is terrible because he hurt his friend, Chris Rock.
Get the audacity to hit my friend.
You know, Will Smith had Bad
Chris
Boys
Rock
coming
in the
out.
face.
The latest sequel to Bad Boys coming out. And
Did
for
you
whatever
watch it?
reason,
Did you watch it?
Stephen A. Smith was like,
Have you seen it?
let me talk about it. I haven't. Have you watched it?
No.
I've heard good things about it. It's got a lot of good
Yeah,
reviews.
I think it was number one probably. The box office this week.
I've heard really good things about it.
I'm just.
And then
How-
Stephen A. Smith put out an apology that was not an apology. He basically was like, sorry to all you sucker-ass fools who are still in the Will Smith train. Not me. Not I. Because Chris Rock all the way.
I haven't seen it, but
I don't know in what world Will Smith is not as loved as Chris Rock. What world is that? What world is that?
I think neither of them. I think both of them are hated just as equally.
I don't even think Will is hated.
Yeah, that's true. I don't. Yeah, you're right. I don't.
Chris, sure. Will, no.
Because Chris has done a lot of suspect stuff.
Yes,
lately.
he has.
So I don't know, but then coonery gonna stay with coonery, and hang with buffoonery.
Are you calling Stephen A. Smith a coon?
He has his moments.
He has been doing a lot of things. It was interesting for Stephen A. Smith to be like, on behalf of the black community, we don't stand for this. And then the black community being like, what the hell are you talking about?
Yeah. I thought we traded you
What?
2 years ago.
Huh?
Are you still on the roster? We need to look into that. The black community needs to look and see you still on the roster. So I swear we did a trade for you.
Why are you even saying such words? What's happening right now? That's really all I got for That Happened. Unless you got anything else.
Of course not. I don't do internet news. Oh no, I stay in the streets like that.
I just want to put it on the record. If it is ever a situation where it's Will Smith versus Chris Rock, Will Smith all the way. So there's that.
Wow.
Chris Rock has done too many suspect things between how he treats women, black women, letting white people have passes to say the N-word. No, thank you.
Roger that. Sugar, how you get so?
So, couple of things in terms of shows to cover because Hoochie Daddies is done.
Yay!
Love During Lockup is done.
Boo!
So we're going to be covering the Never Ever Mets, which is a series actually from OWN that's on HBO Max.
Oh God!
And Dirty D is back, Calvin's favorite show.
Boo! I need a boo button. That's what I need. Okay, let's talk about Dirty D and get that crap out the way.
Dirty D
first.
season 3. The first 3 episodes are on Peacock and Peacock only. They're not on Tubi for whatever reason. We watched the first episode.
So we decided to watch the last episode of season 2
to try to get caught up. It was a mistake.
We got introduced to a lot of new people for no reason.
In the first episode of season 3, not at the end of season 2.
I
take that back. You did because they introduced the baby sister.
Yeah,
out of
for
nowhere.
no reason.
Yeah.
So it seems like Brick is tied to everybody in here. Seems like Brick is Seems like if they get rid of Brick, I think Detroit would be a better place.
Well, so in the first season, everything revolved around Brick. That's what the first season was really about.
I'm saying get rid of Brick altogether, and I think the city will be better. I think the cops will be better. I think the criminals will be better. I think people will get along.
In the second season, Brick went to jail, and then in this third season, he got out, but now he's shot.
Now, when he was in jail the second season, seems like everybody was okay.
No, that's we got the whole Terrence plot line. The cop that like the one club girl and then got the nurse pregnant.
It was two people who had an issue. The stripper and her ex-boyfriend. Seemed like everybody else was doing
and then
fine.
we had the infighting for who owns the club, right? We had several parties all trying to take over Brick's old club, including his former wife, the one who died. Her older sister gets into the mix. Some dude named Ice. And then another dude was also aiming for that club. And then he opened up his own club.
Anywho, season 3. Because I'm not gonna rehash that horrible season 2. First, all the seasons are horrible
They're not connected.
at all. So season 3 starts off with I don't even remember. I just watched it.
Season 3 kicks off with the hospital. With the hospital. We're picking up after Brick got shot outside of something.
So Brick's boyfriend decides
Boom.
he has to go on a killing spree because Brick is shot now.
For whatever reason, Boom is like seriously devoted to Brick. Like they established that him and Brick are like they're super close, but
him and Boom Boom are low key together.
I kind of agree with you. So Boom is in shatters. He's shattered. He's in pieces.
So he's booming.
He doesn't know what to do right now.
Exactly. So he's booming. He shoots Rick's
sister-in-law's
husband. Why? Because
he thinks the sister-in-law and him were working together to take over Brick's business in the first place, and they would want him out of the way since they blame Brick for the death of Tiffany, which is her sister.
But if you pay any attention, and if Boom would just take his eyes off Bricks for a moment and see a bigger picture and look at everybody, you know that woman and that dude don't even love each other. They're together, but they're not together. She's banging everybody except him.
But also, this is Dirty D, so it could very much revolve and go right back to it being him. So
Anywho,
logic is not applied.
Exactly. So we move from that. Apparently, Terrence is on the run now. Why? Who knows why Terrence is on the run?
No, because they caught him being a corrupt cop. Because remember, he was on the payroll for Brick.
All of them are corrupt cops.
True, but he got caught. So they were all like, oh, we got to get him.
And apparently now he's missing to disappear. Oh, by the way, the nurse he was messing with who doesn't want him, but now she's possibly pregnant.
She did want him. Remember, she moved in? It was like crazy fast.
But they broke up.
They broke up because he was still talking to the other girl.
She was pregnant, but then there's a possibility that when the day she met him during the paternity test, she didn't get the paternity test. Actually,
they got swapped at some point.
And it didn't get sent off.
Which the way they established it was like, hey, we got the test results back. We found them in a drawer. And then they're like, how can we get DNA tested if they were never sent? But then they come back and they're like, you did this wrong. These are the actual results. But if the DNA never got tested, how are these also now the results?
Exactly.
What?
So who knows?
So Terrence might still be the father of the children and the storyline they created in season 2.
Who knows what's going on? Anywho, now she's in the hospital. This is when she finds out all this information about the test not being tested or whatever.
The nurse has also lost the baby.
She lost the baby that she possibly had. We find out. We meet her mother. Why? Who knows? Her mother.
It's not really her mother.
It's not her mother. She's adopted. We meet another
Why
dude.
was that added? Don't know.
Who knows? We meet another dude who's the internal affairs lawyer, whoever, who's looking into the cops. Apparently,
I thought he was a prosecutor.
He's
IA.
He's IA. He's internal affairs.
Hilarious.
So
who's her foster brother?
Who's her foster brother?
Adopted brother. Whatever.
But now they can't get Ice to turn on Brick because Ice is not talking. If it sounds like we're all over the place, we are because the show is. Nothing means nothing.
We're saying this is exactly the order the show develops all these stories.
Although, also, there's a plug. The woman who's supplying all the drugs. Apparently,
she was in season 2.
She's here now.
She was in love with Brick. She came down there because now that Tiffany was gone, she thought her and Brick could pick up, but he was like, "Nah," and they were up. She got upset.
Oh, by the way.
And then he was like, "Who you messing with me on?" Like he started roughing her.
Yeah. Then, fast forward, Ice, the manager, the girl who manages Ice clubs. Now she's trying to do licks on the side and manage the club at the same time. She accidentally found Ice's girlfriend who was kidnapped.
India.
Randomly
She doesn't find India, though. She never actually sees India.
They're not.
Her girl finds India.
Her girlfriend, who she's trying to do the lick with, goes down to the basement, finds India down there. She doesn't know who India is. She leaves. They come back. The dude tries to kill her because the dude thought she...
The dude, knows
that she
went
somehow
went
down to the basement.
And saw India. So now after he gets his sex in, now she has to die.
But, newsflash, her girl comes in at the last second, shoots him. They go down to try to find India in the basement. India's gone. I assume his friend probably saved her.
I assume his brother. So they introduced Bishop, who is simultaneously the Plug's
main helped her get to her empire, I guess.
I
Helped
guess
her
he's
build
like,
her
I left
empire.
my family for you. It's like, what? Anyway.
Yeah. Anywho, he's randomly here now.
But
Why?
but now
Who
he
knows?
also happens to be the brother of one of the kidnappers who took India.
Who now is dead.
The brother is now dead. India's alive.
The younger brother's now dead.
Just gone.
Yeah. So Bishop. So first that boom follows Ice to the Plug's house.
Actually, Boom didn't follow. He was already there. He didn't follow Ice.
I'm sorry. Boom was already there. He's there. I don't know why he's watching the Plug's house, the girl house, but he's watching the house.
No, because he knows about her relationship with Brick. That's why he was watching her house because he was waiting for that dude to leave so that he could confront her about Brick.
Okay. Then Ice shows up. Ice pulls guns on her. Does nothing. Talks trash. Does nothing. Boom comes up. They leave. Boom tells her those are things. So and so's in the hospital. What
Brick.
hospital?
Brick's in the hospital.
Whatever. The end. Fuck it. The end.
Then Boom's like, she's like, you can go with me. Boom's like, nah, I just left from there. I'm about to get some rest, which doesn't make any sense because he's been following and killing people all night. So
Boom goes home. Two bitches are in there for him.
And they're like, we gotta talk. We don't know who the girls are. We don't know who they are.
Fast forward to Terrence's possible baby mama's house, and now the kids are asking, how come we got so many daddies? They leave. She sends them away. The girlfriend who's there trying to tell her, confronts her about that. Then she tells the girlfriend.
That wasn't the girlfriend. That was her mom.
That was her mom?
Yeah, remember?
So,
because that's the mom that's fucking the police officer, the chief.
So I guess she bangs the police officer too?
The mom? Yeah, remember? The mom and
the daughter. Because she said something about the mom, but yeah, I know how your man likes his chicken or whatever it is. Does he still like my whatever?
What, Calvin? You're not saying words.
When the daughter and the mom are talking,
okay,
they have a little confrontation about the boys not knowing who their daddy is.
Yeah.
To get back at the mom, the daughter says, how your man still likes his chicken. Because I know how he likes his chicken, just like he liked me or whatever. Insinuating that she slept with the mom's boyfriend or one of the mom's men.
Okay.
At some point.
Okay.
The end. I'm done talking.
End of actually, that's the end of the first episode. Welcome back to Dirty D.
I have no idea.
We will be watching the rest of the series.
No, I will not be watching this confusing series. If I check in, I'm checking in just to rant and rave and be mad. And if you think I sound like I'm confused and I'm all over the place, go watch one episode of that show. Trust me, you be doing and sounding just like me.
Yeah.
There's nothing cohesive. They just add people in. First of all the females look the same. All the dark-skinned females look the same. They're built the same. All the light-skinned females look the same and built the same. This whole show is fake, and all the women in this show is fake. All the acting of these men in this show is fake. Everything's fake. But if you want to watch a soft porn,
actually, there wasn't that much porn.
You know what? I take that back. They got rid of all the porn.
There wasn't that much porn. We got like 2 scenes.
We got 2 sex scenes.
Yeah.
Vice versa, the first season where every other scene was a sex scene.
It was like discussion 6.
I guess now that they're on Peacock,
6.
I guess now since they're on Peacock, they have to clean some stuff up. I guess.
Peacock was like, rein it in.
I guess Peacock was like, okay, we will put you on, but we have to limit the sex scenes to at least just one episode.
I disagree, because we still saw a lot of ass and a lot of tits. We still, if they were peeling it back, they would have also been conservative about what was getting seen.
No, we can have all the ass and titty shots. We just can't have this hardcore sex scenes.
It wasn't hardcore though.
Okay.
It was pretty typical of the sex scenes we got.
Can we limit that to 2? You can have all the titties shaking and you want and all the ass shaking. Just 2 sex scenes.
Here's my question though about the sex scenes. How come the sex scenes are always? It's the girl. It's basically the guy being like, "Yeah, come on, you want to get this," and then the girl either going down on him or doing a doggy style, and that's it. Those are the only 2 options that these girls have. They don't get nothing else.
Well, didn't he eat one of them out first?
What? The couple of seconds that he did it?
It don't matter. First of all, you're acting like the sex scenes make sense in this movie.
Of all of the stuff, I would think the sex scenes would make the sense.
No, Javon, it doesn't.
But it's always like
the sex scene
starts. She gives him head and then doggy style so that we can see the booties clap.
Javon, stop. The sex scenes make no sense.
It's all for booty clappage.
He come in, you know what you got to do, and she just goes, okay.
But then they always do like the booty clappage. It's always the dude being like, yeah, and then he and it's like him posed over her,
Javon,
and booty claps.
Because that's the biggest assets in the
show,
in the scene, in the whole show.
Why
The,
is it? But why is it always that?
Javon, the show is nothing but ass and titties. Sorry. I don't know if you've been watching. That's all it is. That's all it is.
But and titties, right? And titties. So why not have them face a different
Because
way?
black women aren't revered for their titties. They're revered for their asses. Makes more sense now, doesn't it?
Okay, sure.
All right. Stop trying to make this show that makes no sense make sense.
You have a lot of negative things to say, but you are clued into the storyline more than I was.
No.
So
I gave up. You were trying to get me into the storyline.
Calvin, I was like, who is this person? How does this relate to this? And you knew all of it.
Yeah, because I just made it up in my head just
Calvin.
like the show did.
Anywho, I highly recommend Dirty D now on Peacock. First 3 episodes. The later half of it, the last 3 episodes are going to drop sometime in July.
I recommend it if you just want to watch something, just to watch it and not think at all. And you don't care if the plot makes sense. You don't care if anything ties into anything. And you just want to watch something to detach yourself from reality. This is a good watch. But if you want to watch something that makes sense, this is not something you want to watch.
Dirty D is for fun times. It's not for you to be like a critical analyst at all.
Is it something if you want to laugh at something?
If you had a long day at work and you're just looking to drink wine and tune out, this is the show. This is the show.
I would not argue with that sentiment at all.
I loved it. Anyway, do you want to talk about Love in Paradise or the Never Ever Mets?
We can start with the Never Ever.
Never Ever Mets was our worth the watch. It took me an embarrassing long time to realize that they're all black couples, and this was actually an own show, not a TLC show. So there's that. The whole.
Wait, you didn't notice this was a own show?
Not when I first started watching it. I thought it was a TLC show. The whole time.
Okay.
The whole time. Anywho, the whole premise of Never Ever Mets is that they found a bunch of these couples that have been dating online exclusively. They've never met in person, and the time periods around all of that vary. So I think the couple that had been doing it for the shortest.
The shortest, yeah.
Was the girl who clearly doesn't like this guy, Jody, and her dude.
Okay.
What's his name? Aaron? Jody and Aaron. And then we had the longest couple was not even the older couple. It was
I forgot
Josh and Shay.
The girl from Florida, the dude from Florida.
The dude from Tennessee.
Tennessee.
The light skinned guy from Tennessee,
and the girl's from Florida, right?
No, she's from California.
California.
Yes, Shay. Josh and Shay.
She's from California.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but they had been online only for 12 years. He had several babies on her. It was very very interesting.
It seems like he had 2.
He has 2 kids. He has one that's 13. They've been dating for 12. So he might have had a 1-year-old at the time that they were talking, but he also has a 3-year-old.
He had a 3-year-old like 3 years ago.
While they were technically dating.
Yeah. So, but she forgave him.
Allegedly, he told her like right away. He was like, "Yo, I stepped out. I knocked this girl up," and she forgave.
But oh God, I don't think that's cheating. We're not even the same coast.
But they were exclusive. It wasn't like
I'm sorry,
Chris and Sandia, where they weren't boyfriend and girlfriend.
You're not going to be exclusive with me, just video chatting with me. That's impossible.
Calvin, we used to do it all the time.
I was in the military.
I'm just saying.
1, I was not gone for 12 years.
You were gone for a year.
I was in the military. I was coming back. Right? Did I disappear for 12 years in a jungle somewhere and then escape and then
I'm just saying,
finally came back?
Josh was saying they could have met much sooner, but Shay was the one who was reluctant to move forward like that.
Okay, since she was so reluctant, I think he got tired of it and he just did what he had to do. That's what I think happened.
But the reason it was cheating was because they already had an agreement that they were exclusive to each other, and then that happened.
I'm just saying, I don't understand that lot. Why?
You agree with Chris. Chris feels like that is a similar scenario.
Guess what? All men would agree with that.
No, just you and Chris.
No,
because the older guy didn't agree. Didn't agree.
The old preacher man that cusses like a sailor.
Raphael? Raph?
What grown folks do. Like
He
he's just
didn't, and
being.
neither did the light skinned guy who I call Lenny Kravitz. He didn't believe that either.
So two out of so that's what 100.00.00.00.1%.
That's 3 against your 1.
They were lying.
The other person who agreed was
First of
Aaron.
all, I don't take them seriously because they're girl there, so they're not trying to. They're trying to save face. So no,
I'm
they're
just saying,
lying.
Chris was the worst one. So
They
there's
feel
another
the same.
couple that's been dating for 8 months online exclusively, Chris and Sandia. Chris hates women. He had a very traumatic and terrible experience in a relationship with one, and he has been punishing every woman he's met since
So
then.
no, so Chris doesn't know he's using his feelings. He think he's being logical, but he's in his feelings. He just doesn't know. What happened was Chris got hurt really bad because he was probably with a girl for 8 years and she cheated on him. They probably were engaged. She cheated on him. So he's never fixed himself from that. So now he thinks he's being logical, but when in essence he's really 110% in his feelings. But he doesn't know it.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much Chris. Don't get me wrong. He is horrible.
He's terrible.
Yes.
The host at one point has to like dress him down and be like, "What the hell are you talking about right now? What the heck?" Because his whole thing is like, women's feelings aren't valid. Women aren't logical.
But once again, he thought he was being logical, not being in his emotions. But he's really in his emotions
And
not really
he
being
truly
logical.
believes that men and women can't be equal. That men are always going to be superior to women. And it is so frustrating.
And I tell you why he thinks that.
And his girlfriend, unfortunately, Sandia, she doesn't speak up for herself at all. At all. Like when they get her alone and she has the moment to talk on her own behalf without him there, she's saying one thing. But when he's there, she's saying something completely different.
The reason he feels women aren't equals anymore is because he treated a woman like she was equal and he got severely hurt. Once again, he thinks he's being logical.
I also wonder if part of it is cultural. He's Haitian. She's Haitian. If you know anything about Caribbean culture,
Yeah.
Haitian culture specifically, there's a lot of patriarchal structures in that culture.
Has a little to do with it. But I think, yeah, it does.
What blew my mind, though, was that his best friend is 10 times worse and actually makes him look good.
No, you hang with the people who you are. It's
Mhm.
rare that people
You
hang
are
with,
the company you keep.
yeah. It's rare that people hang with a diverse group of people that you can be like, I don't know who or what this person is really, or that person's really.
I'm
like.
just talking about somebody who's polite. You can't hang out with somebody who's polite.
Obviously, no one who's polite can stomach being around him.
There's a whole part in there where friends come to meet these couples because they're all living in the same house.
But then again, he picked the friend that I'm assuming that's his best friend.
He says, "This
So-
is my best friend. It's this guy named Benz." And Benz off the gate is like, "I'm going to make your girl hate me as soon as I meet her. As soon as I meet her." He says that verbatim.
And
I'm going to make her hate me.
Did he go thank you?
He-
What did he say?
All he says is, "Listen, I know you I know you tend to say off the wall things, but this girl's very sweet. I really care about her. Don't be too much of yourself," is what he tells him.
So even
And he directly ignores that and they get into a very strange conversation.
Even he knows that they really suck.
Here's my thing though, if you already know that, why are you still doing this? Like, I don't understand.
Because
Especially
he
if you're supposed to be
doesn't-
so logical, why would you do this?
Because he doesn't care.
Chris is the worst.
That's why.
But yeah, his whole meeting with Chris's girlfriend Sandia is just him being like, "Yeah, I know you think you're going to be in this monogamous relationship, but that's not what's going to happen. Okay? Relationships, first of all, are dumb. Secondly, no man is trying to be with one person forever. That's insane. Don't even think about that. You are never going to find somebody who's going to love you for you, be faithful to you, commit to a monogamous relationship with you, and live happily ever after. That is a fairy tale, and it doesn't exist in the real world." And I'm like, wow.
Which makes me believe he's been hurt 20 times over.
But what also got me was that, like, Sandia again says nothing. Her friend is the one that is like sticking up for her and being like, "What the hell are you talking about? Of course that exists." Yada yada yada.
Sounds
But
like
she doesn't say it for
sounds
herself.
like she needs to get a backbone.
Girl, I hope you got out of that relationship. I hope it was just for the show. I hope this was a business deal that you guys made for the show because he is terrible. The other couples that we get, I can't remember nobody's name. We get a light skinned couple.
What's their name?
Who?
Zan-
Sienna?
Sienna, yeah.
Well, they leave pretty early. So there's two couples that get kicked out the house pretty early. There's one couple where they had been talking for like the last 6 months online exclusively, and when their first night moving into the house that everybody's going to share for this experiment, the dude lays hands on her. They get into a fight. He feels like the girl was flirting with one of the other contestants by teasing him about his shorts, and then he starts putting hands on her, and it's a whole thing. And they both get kicked out. They get separated because it got to physicality on both ends. She has to go. He has to go. She disappears. Her name's Alexis. I cannot remember what the dude's name was. Then the Sienna couple that you're talking about, Sienna and I want to say Marcus. I think it's Marcus.
You didn't write down any names?
No. Sienna, I think it's Sienna and Marcus, but they also don't
notes.
last. They also don't last.
So the first couple, to me, she really wasn't flirting to me. I don't understand the whole she was flirting thing to me.
You're not a possessive person. That's why it doesn't make sense to you.
Even I would think if I was a possessive person, I would still be like, that's not really anything.
Then you wouldn't be possessive. That's not how it works when you're super jealous for no reason. Any little thing.
So you're possessive.
Any little thing.
Any little thing makes you go crazy.
It can. That's a possibility. Especially with that dude who doesn't know how to control his anger. Like his anger reflex is just
So would you say you're possessive?
no. Jealous? Yeah.
Isn't that the same?
Jealousy can spark possessiveness for sure. For sure. But that dude was not jealous. That dude was just possessive. Like that, like a toy. Like that was my toy. You're trying to take my toy.
But then again, I don't know because he talks about how he's not really attracted to her.
That is true.
So I don't. So
when he first meets her, he's like,
possessive?
she doesn't even look like the pictures. And we see the pictures. They're very they're very filtered. And he's like, the body's not together the way I would like. I don't know about this. But then he goes on this date with her and he's flirting up a storm. He's laying it on thick about how he can't wait to sleep with her. And then they have their first night at the house where they meet the other contestants. And he gets mad because she's talking to another contestant. So it doesn't make sense. But we don't get to explore that further because they get kicked out the house. And then we have Sienna and Marcus. They're an older couple as well. They've been talking for like 3 years online exclusively. And we find out that like, it's not, first of all, it's not a good match. But secondly, Sienna got her own issues that she kind of needs to work out.
So the girl and the guy who got in the fight, the guy's name is Alex. The girl name is Dominique.
No, her name was Alexis.
It's Dominique.
No, they said it in the show because she calls later.
I'm looking at the show now. It says Alex.
What website is this?
And Dominique own.
Because they said Alexis.
And the couple you're talking about now, the girl's name's Sienna and the dude's name is Brandon.
Uh-huh.
Sienna's from New York, so she has a whole New York
from the
accent.
Bronx.
She's from the Bronx. So she has a whole Bronx exterior, and you have Brandon, who's more of a mellow, soft guy.
But he also doesn't know what he wants.
Exactly.
She also doesn't know what she wants. And it causes chaos for them later.
And Sienna's the type, once she gets upset, she's upset, and she's just going to burn the whole thing to the ground.
She's also, it also changes so quickly. Like one moment, she can hate you. She's throwing flowers at your face. The next second, she'll be calm and be like, so what are we doing? And it's like,
I think she needs to go get checked for bipolar issues.
But it gets to a point where Brandon is like, I don't want to keep doing this. Because she like calls him out his name several times. And he's like, I'm done. I'm not going to pursue this any further. And she's like, all right, it is what it is. And they also have to leave the house because the whole point of the house is to explore the relationships. So, and the show is not done. Never Ever Met is still going on. There's still one more episode to drop at some point. Who is the couple? I know it's Aaron. It's Aaron and Jody. Joanna, Jody.
How do I go back? So
Okay, he doesn't know. I'm pretty sure
no,
it's Joanna because she wears a necklace that says Jody. They call her Jody, which I
I
think
didn't
is a
talk about.
nickname for
Her name
Joanna.
is Joanna and it's Aaron.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Joanna's from Illinois and Aaron's from Georgia. So the name of the couples are you have Joanna and Aaron. They've been dating for 9 months. Uh, Damond and Aaron. They've been dating for 5 years.
Damon and Aaron.
Yeah, the old
Damon?
that's the old ass couple. The dude that like he was a
Diamond.
oh I'm sorry Diamond and Aaron. I'm sorry. Oh, this fucking ghetto speller of Diamond is so jacked up. Yes, Diamond and Aaron. Aaron looked like he's a old singer from the Barclays. Where grown folks do. And then you have Alexis and Dominique.
Alex? Or is it Alexis?
Alex. No, Alex. Yeah, Alex.
Can you read?
Alexis.
That's Alexis.
Alexis and Dominique. They left early. They were
Oh,
dating
then
for
it wasn't
6 months.
Dominique that called. It was Alexis that called.
Yeah,
There's a then the name was correct. I just thought it was the girl, but it was the guy.
yeah. So they showed the dude talking, and she flipped up the laptop or something to show her what he
Yeah.
said. Yeah, it was him.
Okay.
Yeah. So they were dating for 6 months online. Then you have Sienna and Brandon. They were dating for 10 months, and you have Sandia and Chris.
Sandia.
Sandia and Chris, who we talked about earlier. They were dating for 3 months. So are we still going? We're still on
Who's
Sienna
light
and
skinned
Brandon?
couple?
Oh, the other couple is Millie and Greg.
Okay.
They're from California.
Yeah.
and
They
been
both
dating
live
for
in Los
3 years
Angeles.
and never met each other.
Right. Right. So, in case you did not know, Los Angeles is actually really big.
It don't matter. I'm not gonna be in the same place as you and not see you for 3 years.
The whole point of that was it was a security blanket. That's why they avoided meeting each other for so long. It was a security blanket.
Then that tells me we don't really probably need to be together.
Well, I think they made a lot of strong strides in the show.
But
So,
what couple you want to talk about next?
we covered Alexis and Dominique.
Yeah,
They got kicked out. We
we-
covered Sienna and Brandon.
Yeah,
They also got kicked
we
out.
talked about Shay and Josh.
We talked about Shay and Josh, the 12-year situation with babies.
Yeah,
We talked about Chris and Sandia.
yeah. We kind of touched on Joanne and Aaron.
I
but
want to
then-
talk about them.
Okay,
So
we talk about
Joanna
them.
also goes by Jody.
Yeah,
Everybody can tell this girl doesn't need to be in a relationship. Be in a relationship whatsoever. She's dealing with a lot of demons. She's dealing with a lot of stuff.
well, seem like all these women have a lot of demons,
I don't know about. I don't think it's in the same way.
issues.
Unfortunately, the other common denominator for a lot of the women on the show is they've all been sexually assaulted in some capacity, and then it turns out some of the guys have too. So they're dealing with
Let me guess.
that as well.
What you call that dude? How you gonna glow my way?
Lenny Kravitz, Calvin.
Lenny Kravitz. Was he touched?
Do you pay attention when I talk?
Yes.
I've
knew you
been
called him-
calling this dude Lenny Kravitz.
Yeah, I just remember what the name.
Okay.
The name.
Anywho,
Cause Lenny Kravitz don't.
Jody's story about her traumas and how it is creating a obstacle for her romantic life is insane. She had to deal with sexual assault as a kid more than once. She didn't live in the safest places growing up. Her relationship to sex, she had to think of it in order for her to have a relationship with sex. She had to look at it logistically, like pragmatically. She
Like,
becomes a sexologist.
She looks at it from a dude's point of view, like a business transaction.
So I
almost.
thought it was a dude's point of view until she explains that she's a sexologist. Sexologists really dissect the nature of sex. It's a therapy. It can be a therapy. It's looked at like a math problem. It's not
Okay.
looked at necessarily as like what most of society believes it to be, something connected to like romance, something you do with somebody who's your one, blah blah blah. It's looked at like a math problem. So I can see why she could relate to Chris. She's the only girl in the house that relates to Chris's insane statements about how he feels people should proceed in love. He has a lot of trust issues, and he feels like sex and trust are not mutually exclusive. He doesn't feel like you need to trust somebody to have sex with them, which a lot of the house disagrees with, but Jody agrees with. She's like, yeah, you can absolutely she treats sex like a handshake.
Because she's coming from a place of hurt.
Yeah, she's definitely
So
coming from a place of
that's
hurt.
why she can see it that way now. She's been hurt so much, so that's her coping mechanism.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think it was a way to get her power back. She says that later when she has her one-on-one with the counselor. Like, studying sexology is kind of help with get her power back. It gives her a sense of control. Because for a lot of women, when it comes to sex, we're not really taught that it can be casual. We're taught it has to be something special. And a lot of men, in that same vein, see it that way for women as well. If you're a woman who has a lot of sex, somehow now you're damaged goods. So, like, disrupting that is one thing, which I feel is the conversation she should have had at Chris when he was talking about how he can't wait to get a girl, but also simultaneously would not marry somebody who would do all that. Anyway, she is paired with Aaron. Aaron is younger than her. Aaron is a bit of an idiot. So, like, their dates do not go smoothly. He doesn't drink, but he gets her wine, but he doesn't know how to open that wine. It's also not the wine she typically drinks. He takes her dancing, but he doesn't know how to dance.
He said he knew how to salsa.
He didn't, though. So that was the thing. He said he did, but he did not know how to do it. But for whatever reason, she's like digging her heels in that this is a guy that she can be romantic with. She does talk about how, like, in their online relationship, they have great conversation and they're great at creating together, like being creatives together. They really bond in doing that. But now that they're in real life,
If that's the case, just cut an album and call it a day.
that's not the kind of creative. Well, actually, I don't even know if it's music that they're talking about. I thought it was their social platforms. That's what I thought. I thought it was social media.
I'm just saying he's creative. The only thing that makes him creative to me, because apparently he's a songwriter and rapper, all that stuff.
Is he?
Yeah, that's what he said.
Very interesting.
So that's what I'm thinking. Creative. I'm thinking that. I'm like, if that's the case, cut an album, write a book, do some poets together, call it a day. You don't have to be together.
I will say the dynamic is fascinating because on the one hand, she constantly talks about how love is not a thing. She feels like love is transactional and it's a business proposition. Love isn't real.
But she didn't even want
partnership is real to her.
She don't even
but she's not moving forward in partnership with this guy at all.
Yeah, she don't want the business or partnership with him.
Correct.
So what's the
like
point?
The closer he tries to get to her, the more vulnerable he is to her, the more she's disgusted. The more she like isolates herself from him.
I don't understand her. Even with her saying that, it doesn't make sense because she doesn't even want to do that with him. So
I agree. She doesn't. And then it culminates with a date he takes her on where they go do a photo shoot. And it's supposed to be like a boudoir photo shoot where you can dress up in like sexy costume and take pictures. But the point of boudoir photo shoots is to show intimacy. You get really close to your partner if you're in a coupling session, which they are. And when they have their moment to kiss, he sees fireworks, but she dies inside. Like, she's like, I felt nothing. I don't know how to broach this. And we see subsequently, she never brings it up to him, how she felt during that moment. Instead, she continues to distance herself from him more and more. Then we get into a situation where the other guys in the house want to share rooms with their partners because there's enough rooms now for every couple to have their own room. And they have to get Aaron on board, but Aaron knows that Jody is reluctant to do that. She doesn't want to. She has been living pretty nicely in her own space and him in his own space, and that's how they've been functioning in the house the whole time. But they convince him to do it, so he does go to Jody's room, and she's okay with it as long as he sleeps in his own bed. Then he gets the idea in the middle of night to go ahead and push their beds together and try to cuddle. It doesn't go well. And then he tries to kiss her in the morning, like kiss her on the forehead in the morning. And she punches him. She reflexively just punches him because she's had to deal with her other stuff. And it upsets her. She reads him down about how they had these boundaries, about how she discussed with him these boundaries, and he crossed the line, which he did, and he apologizes for. But they don't hash into why she's reacting like this at all. It takes the counseling session that they have with an actual psychologist who has to take her away from the coupling. When she's counseling the couples, it's usually both of them. But as she's talking to her and Aaron, she realizes, I got to talk to Joanna by herself. So she talks to Joanna by herself, and that's when we, the viewers, find out even more about her terrible past, how she tried to reclaim some power for herself by becoming this sexologist, and how, like, on the front, the front she gives everybody about how she doesn't believe in marriage or romance or yada 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 is exactly that. It's a front. She actually does want to be in a romantic relationship with somebody. She just doesn't think it's possible for herself at all. So instead, she'll build these barriers. She'll try to be as pragmatic and technical with it as she can, thinking that if she can control these aspects, that she can control the outcome. And it's the psychologist letting her know, unfortunately, when it comes to your romantic life, you can't plan for everything. And it's her realizing, oh, yeah. I'm interested to see where this is going to go, though. If she's going to try to continue a relationship with Aaron or if she's going to break things off.
Why? He's too young for her.
Is he? How old is he?
It don't even matter. He's too young for her.
Why is he too young if you don't even know?
He's mentally
Oh,
and emotionally
immature?
too young for her. I don't even think this dude has lived outside his parents' house yet.
No, yeah, he lives on his own in L.A. His dad doesn't live in L.A.
He's too immature.
I think that's why she liked him. Honestly, I think that's why she liked him. His expectations in a relationship are limited because he doesn't have a lot of experience.
They don't. Let me see if they have ages.
Well, I know he is younger than her, but yeah, his expectations and what their relationship should be is very limited. He's also very young, so
Yeah,
he
they
is
don't
part
have-
of. I think he's Generation Z. I'm pretty sure he's Gen Z.
It don't matter. He's too,
It does matter because there is a different outlook on dynamics of relationship with this new generation.
He needs to be with somebody his speed. From listening to him.
Technically, he is with somebody his speed.
No, she's not his
They
speed.
both don't want to be in heavy commitments. They both don't believe in
She's not
marriage.
his speed. Emotionally, mentally, she's not his speed. She was talking to him because she might think he makes her feel young.
I don't think
and
it's
he
that
might
he
let
makes her feel young.
She might let her dominate the conversation
I
or
think
whatever.
it's that part. I think his optimism and his allowance of letting her do what she wants to do when she wants to do it was what interested her.
But he's not her speed. She's too much.
I don't think she's too mature, but I do think she's dealing
too
with a lot.
advanced for him.
I don't even think it's advanced. I think she's behind, honestly. I don't think she's advanced.
She's not his speed.
I think her reticence to not be in a romantic coupling actually sets her behind emotionally than where he's at. I think he's good with an open relationship. I do. But I think he also wants romance and physical intimacy, and those are things that she is not capable of.
I don't think. Sure. Whatever.
And then we also have the dynamic in the house where she rubs people the wrong way. So he's constantly on the defense for her as well. And I think that also eats into the relationship because now it's an us versus them dynamic as well.
Whatever. All right. They're not.
But it does crack me up because the oldest couple in the house, which is Diamond and who did you say his name was? Aaron?
Yeah.
Is it Aaron?
Fake ass Aaron Hall. Yeah.
All right. So they're the oldest couple in the house. They're both preacher's kids. And they tend to take on the tone of like uncle and auntie, where they're like, this is what we got to say. Listen to our wisdom. Take it what it will. It gets them in trouble a lot. They tend to stick their noses in business that are not theirs a lot. But honestly, they're not wrong with their advice is the other thing. Even though they're really nosy and they really are kind of stuffing a lot of advice down people's throats, the advice ends up being correct. So, like right off the bat, Aaron in the Diamond and Aaron coupling tells other Aaron, Jody's not for you. There's nothing about this girl that says that she's into you the way you're into her. You need to rethink this. And he's like, shut up, old man. And then when his dad comes, he oversteps his bounds and tells the dad, listen, I think your son is trying too hard to be with somebody he shouldn't be with. And Aaron's dad goes, I need you to watch yourself. How about that? I'll watch my son. You watch yourself. How about that? But now we're in a situation where it's becoming very prevalent that Aaron's in a relationship. Young Aaron is in a relationship with somebody who doesn't want to be in a relationship with him.
Who cares? That's what he wants.
Also, the older couple, they've proposed. We don't know what the answer is as of the latest episode that's out, but I'm pretty sure it's yes. I don't see how this lady's going to be saying no.
So they had a skerfuffle where apparently Aaron asked another woman to marry him.
Oh, a few years back. Yeah, about 2 to 3 years into, because they've been dating for what, 5 years?
Yes.
So around the second or third year of them dating, Aaron went and proposed to somebody, but it wasn't successful. The person he proposed to was like, let me think about it. And then Aaron changed his mind and was like, nah, I don't need to follow this through. But Diamond's sister is aware of all of this. And for
That
whatever reason,
was
Diamond's sister is like, killed this
amazing.
nigga on sight. Like, this dude is Ghost. I don't know this man.
Once again, I literally said, "There's history there."
He did. And I was like,
I'm
she
like,
doesn't know him.
I'm
but
like, no, she know. I'm like, the fury and anger she has with this man.
yeah.
There's no way she has not met him or talked to him to have this fury.
So the way the show shows it, they only ever talked online. They only ever talked online, and they fought online, and they show snippets of the fight, and the fight is not pretty. But it's just like, but it is very much positioned in Aaron's favor. It shows the sister wilding out a lot, and they kind of try to show it as like it coming from a protective space, like it's her looking out for her sister, but she is so venomous to him off rip, and in turn, it gets under his skin, and he meets her energy. He comes right back with it.
So they meet in the house, and all the devil gets in. Put it like that. The devil's in the house now, and apparently first of all, to be a preacher.
He's not a preacher.
Then what is he?
He's a preacher's son.
I thought
He's not a pastor.
I thought they said
They've
he
been
was a
calling him
pastor.
pastor, but
That's
he's not a
what-
pastor.
Okay, well then, what I'm thinking and what I'm saying don't mean is irrelevant then.
Okay,
Yeah, it is.
but
So
they
I'm
are
like,
both church-going people,
I'm like-
allegedly, and they both cuss up a storm
Yeah, that's
and drink.
That's the whole thing. The cursing is. I'm like, huh? You just throw Jesus to the back burner as soon as you get upset, huh? Ain't no more Jesus, huh?
The couple is very interesting. There's a part in there where Diamond kind of gets cornered about comments that were made around Jody, because the whole house has been talking about Joanna and her relationship with Aaron. But it kind of gets Diamond put in a corner when she makes a comment about how, like, there's a reason why people feel the way they feel about Joanna. Especially when she sticks up. There's this other sentiment in the house that Joanna and Chris might have something going on, because there's a lot of conversation between the two where Chris is complimenting her far more than he's complimenting his own girlfriend, and Joanna is paying him more attention than she is to Aaron. So there's this like underlying sentiment in the house that they might like each other.
Yeah, the issue is he goes out his way to comment Jody for no reason.
He does.
That's the issue. If it
To
was
compliment her, yes.
if it was in context, people might not be as inclined to think that. Everything is, he goes,
He'll go on a rant.
yeah, he goes all out of his way to defend her
Yeah.
and to compliment her
Yeah.
when there's no need to.
Right.
That's why him and Millie get into it, because Millie's like, why you defended this? No need. Why are you saying that?
Your girl is right here.
Yeah.
You haven't said a nice thing about
Yeah.
Sandia yet,
Yeah.
but you're saying all this stuff about Joanna for what?
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. And it's no. And she's like, the
Aaron's right
reason-
here. Aaron
yeah.
could also speak for her,
And she's like, there's no need to.
but he does not like Millie.
No one asked you to.
Millie's one of the few women in the house that can get him to stop talking.
No,
It's hilarious.
he likes Millie.
Oh, you think he likes her?
Yes. Millie probably reminds him of his ex.
So you think the animosity is a turn on for him?
Yeah,
That's incredibly toxic. All right.
yeah. I'm not saying he wants to be with her, but
He likes it.
yeah,
He likes
yeah.
the confrontation.
yeah.
Because Millie's not scared to back away from it. And she calls out his behavior pretty regularly. And I can't fault her for that. But then he's like, she's too aggressive. I don't understand why she's getting so angry. And it's like, nigga, you are laying the foundation for all these fights. I don't understand why you're so confused.
Notice he never gets that disrespectful with her.
He doesn't.
Is a reason.
He really doesn't. It's very interesting. To me, it's very interesting. But whatever. He is trying to focus on Sandia. I hope this girl runs for the hills. I hope she runs for the hills, marries herself a nice white man. And then that leaves us with Melly and Greg.
Yeah.
Millie and Greg, the light skinned couple. I think they're the youngest couple also. lived in the same county. They have never seen each other except for now.
So
Both come from
then you
traumatic
say
places.
then you say in the same county.
LA County is bigger than LA City. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But if we're in the same county, I
County,
think
city.
we can see each other at least once.
I get why they don't, though. In case you don't know, and I don't know why Calvin's acting confused because he's been to LA before.
I've been to LA. It's no different than any huge city that has big city limits.
It's the same reason people in DC don't want to go down to Waldorf. It's exactly that. Imagine somebody lives in Millie lives in Waldorf and he lives in DC. They can technically go see each other.
I guarantee.
But there's these other things that they can use for convenience as to why there's obstacles for them to meet.
I guarantee you, if one of them wants some, they'll make that drive.
Well, that's the whole thing. Because they never make the drive. They meet together for the show. But they explain why. So we get to see the unpacking of what the reasons are behind that. For Millie, trust is a big thing for her in relationships. She's dealt with assault repeatedly. She's dealt with abandonment. She was hesitant to move forward and making that relationship real in her eyes on her own. And it was the same thing for Greg. Greg came from a womanizing history, but also an assaulted history as well. And he was worried that if they met, they'd get it in and he'd lose interest. So they both used the conveniences of traffic, being, so many miles apart, being busy, to just sustain the online relationship and never take it the next step. They meet in the house. They have their fights here and there, but for the most part, they seem to be on the same page about a lot of things. And they move forward in that space. We do find out that Millie kind of hits a block at some point where she just stops being vulnerable with him, even though he's trying. But with their counseling sessions with the counselor, she kind of recognizes, okay, maybe I don't have to be as harsh. I don't have to be as hard in these certain situations. And she slowly but surely lets him in. And so far, they seem to be moving forward pretty well.
Sure. I don't have anything to say about them.
Okay.
They look like the most comfortable couple in the house.
Yeah.
Next to the old couple.
Yeah. Well, that and Shay. I think Shay and Josh are also
Shay
really
and Josh
comfortable.
Too.
For the most part, they stay away from all the drama.
Yeah.
But that's it. So Never Ever Met is still going on. It's really just, I think this next episode is the last episode. It's just to tie up everything, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes. You want to move on to Love in Paradise?
Sure.
All right, Love in Paradise. What episode is this? I think it's 10. Season 4, episode 9 or 10. We're looking at the couples again. Kyle and Anika. It's still a mess. Kyle and Anika apparently got it in after the last episode. When we saw Anika go back to his hotel and he closed the mosquito nets, apparently they got it in. And they did so without protection because that is Kyle's MO. He doesn't like protection. So, what are you doing? So, what did you think of the hookup?
Whatever, I guess.
What did you think of Kyle's explanation of the hookup? Kyle goes into detail.
Because Kyle don't know what to do with himself. He just talks.
It was very technical. It was a very interesting explanation.
There's no interesting
It wasn't like it was romantic and we were feeling each other. It was like 1, 2, and then 3, and then 4, and then 5, and then 6.
He said what I expected him to say. He was weird. What did you expect?
It's very interesting.
That's her stupidity for doing it without protection. Then her stupidity to ask him to go get the morning after pill.
Yeah, I agree. She's talking with the producers about how they had their night, and then she's talking about how they didn't use protection, but she wasn't initially worried because she doesn't think she's ovulating. And then she's like, well, now that I'm talking about it, let me see if I am ovulating. So she goes and gets an ovulation test. The test shows the lightest of light lines to say that she's ovulating, but she's a woman. And she knows that these tests are only but so accurate. So now she's worried. And she's like, let me go ahead and get, the morning after pill as well. She calls up Kyle because he's supposed to come down to see her. She's supposed to make him dinner for their next date. And she's like, bring the pill with you. And she meets resistance immediately. Kyle's like, why do you need that? I don't think you need to. You told me you took the test and you can barely see the line. And even if you are pregnant, then isn't that also good news? And she's like, nigga, give me the pill.
Now, this is where I will steal your line and said, I think the producers set this up.
Mm-hmm.
So, like you said, I don't even think they had sex because there's no way they're going to have sex. Her knowing who he is and how he is, going to trust him to go get the pill and not get the pill herself.
Well, I would think knowing who he is and what he does, that she wasn't protected, that she wouldn't use protection.
Either or, she's not doing it this way.
Mm.
That's all I'm saying.
It could be just a plot for the show. I'm really hoping it is. I'm really hoping all of this is
It
plots
is
for
a
the
plot
show.
for the show because there's no way that she can't be that stupid.
There's too many times where she looks straight at that camera and I'm like, are you okay? Do you need to be saved?
Because
What's
now,
happening?
she's stupid. I don't care what you say. If she did this, she's stupid.
Because he shows up for the dinner date with no pill, with none. And she's upset because she's like, I don't know why he's trying to police my body. It's my body.
Guess who was shocked? Only her.
Right.
No one else was.
Right.
Because soon as she asked him, I'm like, he's not going to get the pill. So why is she uttering these words?
I'm going to skip to Alex and Adriano because I feel like it's the same storyline with them, which is Alex all of a sudden is very religious and using that to also explain why she can't have a threesome while also not breaking up with Adriano. Like that's continuing to be the storyline because he wants a threesome.
So they're on the beach?
That's pretty much it. They go to the beach. They meet his friend. His friend is like, so why are you guys still together when you want threesomes and she doesn't want them?
And then her friend comes in.
Her cousin?
Her cousin comes in. His friend goes, well, damn.
Listen, her cousin was dragging a wagon. It was a sight to behold.
Then they go back and sit down. They talk. And while they're talking on the beach, he's like, let's ask those girls, see if one of them would like to have a threesome with us. Which, that's crazy. If it's just that easy, then why are you in a relationship if it's just that easy to get threesomes?
That was what his friend was saying. Like, why? Why be in a relationship with this person who doesn't want him when you can easily be with somebody else who does?
So, yada, 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 boom, 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 argument. Now they go back to the house and previews for the next episode. We see her cousin there with her talking, and then she tells the other cousin that he says he want to have a threesome with
The cousin.
the cousin.
That wasn't like her cousin. That was her mom.
Oh, with her mom. She's talking to her mom, and she's like, yeah.
Also, I think that's a plot for the show.
Doesn't matter. They don't need a plot. The plot that they're still talking to each other is the plot. So, like she said, the religious thing to me, the reason I think she's making it an issue now, and it's more about the threesome, is because the whole time they were together, she never once asked for anything that's kind of religious on that spectrum to me.
So here's my other thing. They've only been together a year. And
Yeah.
she's only seen him 3 times.
So
I in that context, I understand why a lot of these hard details they didn't get to. Because she could only vacation out there for like a couple weeks at a time.
I get that, but what I'm saying is, like what I'm saying, the cousin started this whole thing in her head because they were eating. The cousin's like, "You're not gonna pray." She didn't say anything about praying when they were eating.
True.
And then all of a sudden now you don't pray. You're not religious. I'm like, okay, whatever, cool.
Well, her argument was like, you don't have to adopt my religion. It didn't make sense. It was a nonsensical argument. But
Exactly.
she was like, you don't have to adopt my religion, but you should pray. It was like,
Exactly.
wait, what?
Exactly. See,
What you mean?
exactly. So that's pretty much them.
Yeah, it is boring. Then I'm gonna jump to Sean and Aaliyah. Sean and Aaliyah are still moving forward with their engagement. However, Aaliyah is now really reflecting on
Their relationship.
their relationship, and we find out that they're in an open relationship. And Aaliyah didn't know they were in an open relationship until very recently. So
Now it makes sense why he married her anyway.
to Calvin, yes, because the logic is sound. The whole idea that like, yeah, I'll marry you because I can continue to do what I want to do. Sure. whatever. But it confused me because he made such a big deal about her transition. So if you were already going to do what you wanted to do,
The
why are you also concerned about what you think you're losing? I'm
because
confused.
in his mind, like you said, Aaliyah, he's losing control.
Yeah, Aaliyah is definitely more sure of herself than her former self ever was.
So that's what you're
And he kind of reiterates it when they have their fight.
exactly, and why that's why you're right with saying it's a control thing. He feels like he's losing control, but at the same time too, like I said, it doesn't matter because at the end of the day, when he gets tired of her, he can leave and go mess with somebody else and then come back.
But I think that was Aaliyah's point. Was like,
Yeah.
I want us to be in a monogamous relationship.
Yes.
And Sean was like, we can't do that because I have a friends with benefits that I've known for years. I'm not going to stop that. I'm gonna do what I want to do, and no one can control me. And when he's talking to Aaliyah, he tells Aaliyah, "Listen, now you're too self-righteous and entitled. So I'm not gonna do what you say." And it's like, wait, wait, what? Huh? What you mean?
So now he's gonna have to actually make a decision. Does he want to be there for real now?
Who, Sean?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I think Aaliyah has to make that decision. Aaliyah's got to make the decision if she wants to stay in this relationship at Sean's
Expense.
expectations. Absolutely.
Touche.
And Aaliyah, out of the two of them, is the one who's going to hurt the most if they decide to break up. Sean supplements Aaliyah's life. And if he goes away, Aaliyah's going to have to figure out how to sustain on her own. And the way that she's been doing that, unfortunately, is relying on like a caretaker. So I don't think it would be hard for Aaliyah to find another caretaker, but I don't know if that's the route she wants to go now. But I think she's also kind of stuck because she doesn't know how to move forward on her own necessarily. But she's also young as heck. She's 22. So that's what's happening with Sean and Aaliyah. I thought it was a nice little twist to be like, wait, what? Open relationship. Interesting. And all the comments that best friend had about Sean being controlling made more sense.
Okay.
Do you agree?
Yeah.
Okay.
I still think he should have told her shut the hell up and go about his business.
He did tell the best friend that. That's when she got like, oh, okay, all right.
Exactly.
On to another insane couple, Luke and Madeline. We're picking up with Luke and Madeline on their vacation from their vacation as they're camping outside. Luke has invited his friend, he says, but clearly he knows this friend through Madeline because this friend's wife is Madeline's best friend. So there's that. But Madeline's best friend's husband, I think his name is Brian, is coming with some news for Luke. According to Brian, Madeline is stepping out and being a hussy.
It's hearsay.
110%. He gives a story about how another mutual friend of theirs slept in the same bed as Madeline and she had her shirt off. First of all, that sentence by itself doesn't make sense. What? Huh? Outside of middle school, what grown people you know are sleeping in the same bed as somebody who has no shirt on? And that's how they explain it to somebody else.
First of all, who has a party at their house and let somebody just fall asleep in their room?
She didn't let him. Remember, she gave her story. So she gave her story. Brian paints it like Madeline got down with this one dude at the apartment that, what's his face, Luke pays for. And then he spent the night and Madeline had her shirt off. Madeline's like, I had a party. He said he didn't want to go home. I turned in for the night. He slid into bed next to me. That's what she says. But either way, Luke is pissed. Luke is pissed.
I thought she said she was having a party. This fool went and passed out in her bed.
Yeah, after she was already in bed.
Oh, I didn't know she was already in bed. I thought she was still partying.
She turned in for the night.
Oh.
He came in the bed afterwards.
Then why did she kick him out?
Do you see the size of Madeline? I don't know if you see the size of Madeline.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. I guess. Yeah.
And
right.
she stresses that she's like, he fell asleep. First of all, he fell asleep in that bed after she was already in the bed. So I don't know when she woke up and realized he was in there because they both were drinking. 2, as a girl who has been in a situation where somebody decides they're going to claim that space that you're in, it can be very hard to make them do something they don't want to do, to kick them out or tell them they got to go away. It can be very difficult, especially if they're drinking.
So what'd you do? Leave?
You do what's safest for you, whether that's like stay still and wait for them to leave or hide or whatever. You choose the safest option for you.
So you just stayed still?
You can. You can.
Maybe I'm a violent person. I'm punching somebody in the face.
But you're a dude.
Okay, I guess. No, I think my sister would punch somebody in the face too.
You're telling me Madeline and your sister are the same?
Touche. Touche.
Anywho.
I'm just.
But here's my thing. We know.
How do you not? But how do you not? That's a lot. That's a lot of drink. That means you passed out. That means you're not drunk. You're passed out. So she passed out and passed out in her bed.
Sometimes people sleep hard.
Oh.
And sometimes, especially like in Madeline's case, I wouldn't be surprised if like a girlfriend of hers gets in that bed with her and it's not anything. So even if she was aware that somebody got in the bed, doesn't necessarily mean she thought it was out of the normal.
Okay.
I believe her when she says it's just Luke.
Oh.
I believe her because I really doubt that she is manipulating him so that she can be with other people.
I'm not saying she's lying. I'm just saying I can understand the really bitch of it all.
What do you mean?
I can understand somebody thinking it's far-fetched.
Oh, for Madeline?
Yeah.
To not kick him out?
Yeah, or for her not feeling a dude collapse in your bed.
Here's my question,
somebody
though.
collapse in your bed.
There's all this focus on what Madeline should have did. This guy who's their mutual friend, why did he do it? Why aren't we asking why he decided to sleep in this bed? Why did he decide to go over to Madeline's apartment? He knows Luke. He knows Brian. Why aren't we asking why he did the actions he did? Why are we just focused on Madeline?
Because she's supposed to be the better person.
I think that's bullshit. I don't like that there's this inevitability that the guy is going to do wrong, and therefore everybody else has to act accordingly around that inevitability. That's dumb.
Once again, I don't know or understand what you think I'm saying. I'm saying I don't think she did anything either. I'm saying I think
you
she's
just
innocent.
Said you also understand the really bitch of it all.
I understand you really didn't feel nobody fall in your bed. You were really that drunk.
She never said she didn't feel him in the bed. She just said, I had the party. I turned in. Next thing I know, he's in the bed. That's all she said. So there's that. I just found it interesting that they didn't call their other guy friend and ask him why he thought it was okay to do what he did with Madeline. If he's also their friend. Why is this all on Madeline?
Because neither of them can beat him up. That's why.
I'm just saying, when it comes to situations like this, I find it very interesting. The guys are like, it's all in the girl's hand to do right and make the corrective action. It's not on the guys.
It is when he can beat both of us up. It's her fault.
It's so dumb. So now Luke is pissed, and he's decided that this, on top of the fact that she won't sign this prenup, is reasons why he shouldn't be with her. And then he continues his whole, I sacrificed so much. I'm doing so much to be with you. And Madeline rightfully points out,
I didn't ask you to.
Right. I didn't tell you to do none of this. You never consult with me making these decisions. You just make them. So what are you talking about? Insane. Also, we're supposed to keep in mind, 1, he don't got a job. 2, he's supposed to be moving down there. 3, for whatever reason, he's saying the apartments are his assets in order for him to keep doing whatever he's doing. 4, he has to go back to America. He told her, even though his plan is to move down there, he's going back to the States because he needs a job. So also, he's a grown-ass man. She's still a teenager. Confusion. I also don't know why Brian has it out for her. Who's alleged?
Allegedly.
Who?
She's a teenager. Allegedly.
No, they show it every time. She's 19.
Allegedly.
Teen.
Allegedly.
And I also don't know what Brian has it out for her so bad. His wife is best friends with her. Why does he hate her so much?
I just thought it was funny that the best friend is like, I don't know what's happening right now. I don't know what the hell is he talking about. I don't know why the hell he's even bringing this up. I'm just going to stay in my little corner because all this is stupid to me.
She was basically like, "Is that I can't not back my husband, but I also can't not support my friend. I don't know what's going on." But it's either
And
way,
I'm
all of
with
it's
him
dumb.
because of his money, so I don't want to mess that up.
All of it's dumb. All of it's dumb. Honestly, if I was Madeline, well, if I was Madeline, I would have been gone. But I would have clocked out by now. I would have been like, "Thank you for the business. You know what? Thank you for the business. Thank you for paying that apartment. We're done. We're done. I'm gonna find me another rich white man to be with. Goodbye."
He's Hispanic.
He's also white,
He's
and he doesn't claim his Spanish heritage. So, white.
who's next?
That's it.
Okay.
Unless you can remember another couple. I don't think
That's
there's any other couples.
Love in Paradise in a nutshell. I think the what you call it season finale is probably next week.
Is it?
It got to be close.
I don't know. I don't know how many episodes these run. It feels like forever. But that's it.
So we're pretty much checking out some other stuff to talk about or some other shows to watch.
Dirty D.
Sure.
Yeah.
Why the hell not?
It's recorded, so now it has to happen.
Why the hell not?
Now it has to happen.
Never, never meet.
Never ever. That's almost done though, so not really.
Never, ever, ever, ever.
Never ever
Meet.
Mets. MET.
We watched that. Anything else you're watching that might be entertaining?
I watched docs. I watched documentaries. I watched a Gene Wilder documentary, which was pretty decent. It was very interesting.
Yeah.
What was that?
Didn't he work with Richard Pryor?
What was that?
Richard Pryor.
It sounded like you had an episode. Are you okay?
No.
I don't know what you're even doing.
Anywho.
Oh, and I've been watching the Dungeon anime.
Okay.
Is it Dining in the Dungeon? I think that's what it's called.
I actually tried to watch a game show that someone told me to watch. It's too much thinking for me. I don't have the time to think that much.
What was it called?
I can't remember it. I honestly can't remember.
That
the
was
name of
useless
the
information.
show.
Oh, I watched The Perfect Match. I binged The Perfect Match. I'm caught up. The next episode should be dropping soon. I'm confused. The whole premise of the show is that you kind of swap out partners and find the person you want to stick with the longest. The prize at the end of all of this is going on a trip with that person. That's it. That's all you get. There's no cash prize. It's just a trip. And you have these people who didn't know each other prior, meet each other, and then they're kind of pseudo getting into like these serious relationships because they're living together. They're spending the nights with each other. But they're also breaking up with each other as soon as somebody else that catches their eye comes into the place. It's very interesting.
So,
And I also don't like how they're treating the black women in the show. That's kind of icky. It's kind of real icky. So there's that.
okay. Also trying to watching 90 Day, the other 90 Day after Happily Ever After or whatever the crap is.
That is done. Like, that's been done. Did you ever finish it?
I watched it and then the black girl and Hispanic dude came on the TV and I remember why I stopped watching. And I just stopped watching because,
It's hard to watch.
yeah, because her anger outbursts don't make sense. Are you having a,
What?
are you overheating?
Yeah, I'm hot.
Is it menopause?
And I don't want to fan up here because it's gonna be in the mic. Is it menopause or is it summer? I
Sure,
don't know, Calvin.
whatever. It's called AC.
Do you hear it on right now? Do you hear it?
That's why you have on and off button.
Did you hit on? Because I don't hear it.
I'm not hot. Anywho,
You aren't.
uh,
Burn. Boom. Point
I
for
guess
me.
this
Point
is
for
how we're
Joe.
gonna end every episode.
Point
now.
for Joe.
I guess this is how we're gonna end everything now.
Point for Joe.
Like this. No, they got into it. She's upset because he's not telling her family she's a witch because it would freak his family out.
Yeah, they're super Catholic.
Exactly. So he's like, that's a detail they don't need to know. And she's like, he's not telling them the true me. Bitch, no one wants to really know the true you.
Do you know the true you?
Exactly. So after that part, I just stopped it. I'm like, she don't understand why. Then why are they together?
She refuses to understand? Okay.
I try to catch up on Gino and
Jasmine.
and she's just crying to cry, and I couldn't take it, so I stopped. The end. I might pick back up. Oh, and what's his face and the girl from the UK and the dude from LA, they go line dancing.
Oh,
Why?
Rob and what's her face? Yeah,
Yeah, and she tells him her best friend is coming, which is a guy,
of course.
and he's upset now.
Of course.
Why?
Possessive.
Who knows?
'Cause he sucks. That's why. They are divorced. So there's that.
So the end. Um, that's about it for me.
Was there anything else I watched? I think that's really it for me. Perfect Match anime. That's it.
All right.
Is there any shows you want to watch? We're gonna try to watch that Dallas Cowboy cheerleading show that's coming out on Netflix.
Sure.
Do you have any shows you're looking forward to watching?
Didn't we watch the Clippers document or the Clippers show?
I did. You did not. You got very upset about how Lawrence Fishburne was portraying somebody, and you couldn't get past it. So I watched it.
No, it's just it's like they're exaggerating everything instead of just telling the simple story.
What are you talking? First of all, it's not a documentary. It's not a documentary.
Just tell the story. I don't need you to exaggerate everything.
What were they exaggerating?
Everything was over exaggerated to me.
What were they First of all, I wasn't there, so I don't know that it's being exaggerated. I didn't know you were there, so that's good to know. Good to know that you had a point of view. Fresh. I didn't know that this dude held hands with, what's his name? Is his name Blake?
Sure.
The black guy with the red hair. What's his name?
Blake Griffin.
Blake Griffin. I didn't know he held his hand a lot. Like he would hold his hand and tour him around other people. Or that he treated his players like zoo animals. Regularly.
Yeah.
So those aren't exaggerations to you.
No, because those would actually happen.
So what was over the top?
I think
Because that, to me, I thought that was the things that were over the top. But
No.
apparently those were things that happened.
those were things that happened. I think they were trying to make the girl out to be.
Is his name Donald Sterling?
Yes. I just think they're trying to make the girl Vivian. I think that's her name.
V, they didn't call it. She had a bunch of cover names, Vivian being one of them, but I don't think that's actually her name. Oh, Clipped. That's what we're watching. I'm watching Clipped
And
on FX, also on
that's
Hulu.
all. I just think they were.
But she's not. So there's a bunch of interviews that also get posted like side by side for the episode that got aired. Not an exaggeration for that girl.
Okay.
That's literally how she moved and talked and everything.
Okay.
I would love it to be a show we recapped, but I don't think Calvin can get past what he deems are the exaggerations.
We can talk about it.
How? You have to watch it to talk about it.
I can watch it.
Okay. Well, then that's what we'll do with Clipped, Dirty D, Course 11, Paradise as that continues, and hopefully something else that pops up. We'll see. And that's it. You got anything else?
Nope.
Any good words of wisdom like they did with Reading Rainbow? Man, probably stand it.
You don't have to take my word for it.
What he said something first and then said you don't have to take my word for it.
Love who you love, like what you like,
Okay.
be who you be.
Okay.
You
Sounds
don't have to
good.
take my word for it.
Okay. I'll take it.
I'll see you.
Thank you for listening to We Like That podcast.
So we like that.
Go ahead and click that subscribe button. You know you want to. And rate us 5 stars. I'm Javon.
I'm Calvin.
Later, people.
And we're out.